took me a minute. It was like right over my head, for a while. But yeah, I'm really proud of what we did, um, and what we were able to accomplish. Um, and then obviously, already planning. I have to get back next year to defend the title. So I need to work.
Well, that's not to I think 2027. So that's at least a good
Yeah.
couple of years, Particularly we're talking about it because I had some like last this past Sunday, I had some ladies on. It was Cheryl Mears, Tracy Guile, Trish Wood, Donna Jones, also Robin Mays. We was going to have Rashana, but she couldn't make it. And we were talking about their experience in Japan. I
Yeah.
mean, telling stories like there's a lot of stuff in Japan that they're very traditional about. Yeah, like you, Tony, what was that experience for y'all both? Being, like I said, because we did our last interview, we're in the room and you're talking, y'all just came back from working out, and y'all getting ready to eat, took some time to talk with me before a couple of days before you won your title.
Like, yeah.
I think, George, you know what? I think the overall experience going to Tokyo, Japan, it's a very unknown country for us coming from South Africa. We were very unexpected. But let me tell you, once we arrived in Tokyo, what an experience, what a friendly country. Just the overall acceptance of the people, everybody. I've never seen so many people smile when they see you. They say smile, the world smiles back at you. And that's the experience that I received there. And it's by far the cleanest country I've seen in my life.
Even their construction vehicles are spotless. That's just crazy.
So when you see trucks that are working on construction sites drive past you with ground or sand or material on the back, and it looks like it's just come from a valley, then you know. I mean, it's a totally
That's
different
crazy.
look. We didn't see one dirty vehicle in on all the days that we were there. We didn't see one car that was dirty, not one.
Yeah, I know. I was talking with Donna Jones, how she said that her coach, they were walking one day. There's one particular rule they don't like y'all to eat in public, and because like if you ever been a tourist in another country, sometimes they have street vendors, and they you pick up food and you be walking, eating, and they don't believe in that. I heard about the whole thing. No trash, and then also both of you have tattoos, and they're very strict about that, especially when you go into public areas.
Yeah, we weren't really. We didn't know about all those type of regulations. When we get there, we sort of keep to ourselves and go from the gym to the hotel. So we didn't explore that much. We wanted to explore the last 2 days, but unfortunately, it was raining so badly, so we were like sort of stuck.
Yeah, I know. I think some people said between the heat, it was so hot, then the rain, it was so wet, and then you seem like you were walking in a sauna because y'all in South
Yeah, look,
Africa.
you open that you open that door to your room, it hits you like a ton of breeze. It just the heat takes your breath away.
It's unbelievable how humid it is. I mean, when you open the door in the hotel room, you physically feel, okay, there's no aircon there. So, I mean, South Africa is a very hot country in general, but I haven't felt heat like that. I think the one time I've ever experienced that was in Florida when I went to Disney World.
I can tell you too. That's experience. I've been to Disney World twice, and then when I went to Tampa about 3 weeks ago, I mean, it's a total. I'm a big dude too, and here in South Carolina, we do have a little bit of humidity, but not as like the level of Florida because they're right there in the middle of the ocean. There's
Yeah.
nothing. See, with North Carolina, we have like a couple of states around us. We got the coast right here, but then we have some states behind us and around us. But with Florida, it's right there out in the middle everywhere. So, folks, we have here shout out to a man TB. T-By he says, "Hi George, hi there. Appreciate brother coming." And as you know, Tiana, as you know, was KDB. It's been a couple of weeks ago. She won the title. So, folks are going to jump into her social media for a little bit and show some pictures from the show and some stuff. I mean, right here, she's biting on that gold. I mean, what's that? When they told you And when they announced, it was between you and Salika, because this was a second showdown for y'all too, because Salika beat you at the Triple O back in April, and then you come around and you take it. So now it's kind of like if you go into like a fight game, it's 1-1.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when we were standing there, let me tell you, my head was down. I was like, oh, please, 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 please.
Yeah. But like I said, she looked really good. I was rooting for you. Honestly rooting for her. There's right
Thank you.
Yeah, because I think you were competing for quite some long time. And then you
Yeah.
were shows like the Marine Muscle Fest a few times. Europa, I remember you came second in Europa to Alcione that year. She won. And then you bounce back and win this show. And
Yeah.
I heard it was a pretty good experience. I was talking with Cheryl because she has that issue, her medical issues, and the expediters and the people in the background. Even though the English is not as it's easy with someone from another country, but they really were helpful. Hello.
Yes, can you hear me?
Hello?
Yes, George. Can you hear
me?
us?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Can you hear me?
Are.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I was just saying, what's that experience like? Especially backstage. Especially in another country and different people with different languages.
Yeah. No, let me tell you, I said to David also yesterday, each show has a completely different experience, So backstage, I think honestly the show went pretty good. As they were pretty, especially with the main events, they called us all backstage and went so fast. And then obviously with the girls, me and Salika, we enjoy each other at the shows. So, it was friendly, but, some girls are a bit one-sided, but I also said, I think it's just because, one, there is a language barrier. Not everybody speaks English. So they tend to separate and people don't know you. So, you always have a different experience backstage every time. But I mean, Salika just made it fun for us. So she's just a bottle of sunshine.
Yeah, I saw because I didn't watch the show because I'm here in the States. Y'all show was like really early morning for me, but I did see some clips here and there. I saw at one point when it was the final pose down, you and Slick was having some fun. I love to see
that. No, we really have fun together. Even with the chickens, she saw me from across the room and came running and gave me a big hug. She's really warm. And so, it's nice when you have, and I think that's what bodybuilding between the women should be. We should be enjoying each other. Yeah, when you get on stage, it is business, but there's no problem. There shouldn't be an issue to smile and have fun with each other backstage or before the time, So for me, we had fun. I even said to her at the athletes meeting, I said to her, "Are you ready? Because I'm ready." So that's the type of relationship we have. It's fun. It's nothing serious in that sense. We can have fun together.
Yeah, here she is with talking with her coach Dom, and I'm gonna pull this video up and y'all can listen to it.
Save this video. I promise you, take this to the bank. That if your dream is to go to the Olympia, I promise you that I will get you there. So as a coach, the absolute least that they can do is their diligence to put the effort in to see that it pays off. That's why I didn't care staying up till 1 o'clock in the morning. It's the least that I can do compared to the work that you're putting in. So, this first prep, it was great. Very pleased with the look. And I'm telling you, I learned a lot about your body this prep. So, and I promise you, you can save this video. I promise you, take this to the bank. That if your dream is to go to the Olympia, I promise you that I will get you there. So as a coach.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, he was really confident about what he was working with you on your physique and your presentation. I mean, and Like I said, I saw him. He was at the Tampa because he's coaches Susan Graham and Lavinia, and also
Yeah,
his
yeah.
girlfriend, Amanda, and they are y'all are part of a stable now. I mean, I think maybe in the next few years, this guy could be just as big as maybe Shelby Stearns or even Brandon Way. I just interviewed a couple of his clients this last weekend.
Yeah, I must say to you, I was the conversation that we were having with him at that stage was I was thanking him for, especially between Portugal and the US, there's a huge time difference. And he would wake up during the night to check my check-ins because he would have me check in an hour, for example, after every meal, and he would be giving me feedback. And you don't always expect that, and so that was really something different for me. And then also, I we put him on the deep side of the swimming pool because he only worked with me about 6 weeks prior to Portugal.
Yeah, that's like I say, that's a short time. I mean, 6 weeks. But I think I saw one lady, one young lady recently. She switched coaches. That's Paula Ranta, and just right after she did, I think it was the Imperial, and she really made it turn around because she won Chicago just about a month later. No, like,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's just sometimes it's about the right time, the right person, and
Yeah.
and Dom, where he's working with, and like you got to remember, Susan, she did the Tampa show. She was in the top 5 of that show along with Paula and Zama and a couple of ladies, and then she turned around and done this show, and then she was number 2 to Nada. I mean, I think I don't think she's competing this year because I'm hearing some things. I think she's taking a break. I thought she might do the Rising because that's one of I think the last qualifications here in the States for the Olympia. And I think I heard also that the champ is going to come back. Not Angela. You know who I'm talking about? My girlfriend.
Yeah, I know what we're talking about. Yeah, I saw the post and they said 18 days. I'm like, yeah, that's going to be interesting.
Andrea's gonna. I think she's gonna bring it this year. There's a big hype around her. She's going for type number 6. It's a big number to achieve in the sport of bodybuilding. It doesn't matter if it's for female bodybuilders or men. And I think when you look at a lady like Miss Olympia, she changed coaches in between 2 shows, and it worked out for her. And I have to tell you, from my perspective, I'm the husband. I have to make sure that Dominique gets paid to be able to coach Tiana. It's a huge undertaking for me to make it happen. But I really regretted one day. He has spent so many hours to get Tiana to where we are now. And I said to him, we didn't expect it to go to Olympia this year. We expected it was going to be next year. So it's a big dream to come true. On the back of my wall, it's something silly, but I had this painted on my wall that says, it all started with a dream. It was a dream to go to Olympia for Tiana one day. And now it's going to become a reality. But I think on top of that, when you look at the type of athletes that Dominique is currently coaching, you take Lavinia, you take Amanda, you take Susan, you take Tiana, we even take the boy that just joined, Regan Grimes. I mean, look at the type of athletes he's going to take to Olympia. I mean, there's going to be 9 athletes under best belt representing for him. So I think Dom is a coach that can be taken very seriously. He's good at what he does, and he does it with your health as the number 1 priority. He says, get the health markers right, the body's going to respond. So for me as the husband, I'm very proud of what Tiana's accomplished. And You know,
You gotta kiss the man. Yo, you gotta give
to
a big
see
kiss.
this now it's going to happen in 6 weeks, but there's a lot of responsibility from my side. You know, I said to David yesterday, it's nearly $7,000 to get to the USA, the flights, the accommodation, the hair, the makeup, the tan, the food for a couple of days, the Ubers. There's a lot of stuff that needs to fall in place. And what's really sad for me is that the South African community in the fitness and in the bodybuilding industry, we haven't seen any support or backing. Yes, you get your comments here and there. Congratulations, we're so happy to see someone's going to Olympia, but it hasn't meant much. It's Mr. Olympia, guys. I need you to get this. I can't explain this enough. 40 billion men and 40 billion women. If you take it half, they say there's 80 billion people walking in the world, and only 20 female bodybuilding women will get on that stage, and 20 welders, and 20 physique. There's 100 athletes in the men's and 120 in the ladies that get to stand on that stage. So when you look at the amount of people in the world, and you look at the small minority of people that actually make it to Olympia, it's a big deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I know a lady who that right about that same weekend. Her name is Marika Jones. Marika's been on my channel a couple times. She did this. She did back-to-back shows. She turned around. She did a show in Tupelo, Mississippi, and then no more than 6-7 hours later did the Texas Pro. And
7 hours later.
It was a 7-hour drive from Tupelo, Mississippi to Texas. She didn't want to fly because she felt like she tried to fly, I was stressed out a little bit. And she's an amazing lady. She's like a mother. She works. She has a job. Right now, she's talking about maybe getting her job to maybe help sponsor and promote some bodybuilding stuff. And that thing is, people within your community should be able to want to help you. You're doing something that is historical. And that's the sad part of it, that you have to, and you shouldn't have to ask strangers, but this is what I learned a long time ago. Sometimes you get more helps and kindness from strangers. Like, this is a story I could tell you years ago. When the pandemic hit, we were getting, assistance, welfare, food stamps. I was already getting anyway because I'm a disability, but we're getting such amount to help us cover food and stuff like that. I was shopping one day, and I had my last bit, saying, I just need to finish out the month, so I'll be done for the week. And then I was in the line, and this lady right behind me, she said, "Sir, can I pay for that?" I said, "Okay."
Yeah.
She paid for it all. I didn't ask. She did it. And I didn't know it was one for Adam. She was with a family, I think her husband, a couple of kids, and she paid for my food and stuff. And I just, like I said, this was a stranger. Sometimes strangers are willing to help out something that really they see that is important to somebody. Like we're talking with Donna, her church donated some money to help her go to Japan. Other people will reach out, but you got to find people who are willing and wanting. And sometimes it's sad you can't get in your own backyard. Shout out here to my man, KL the Wanderer. Shout out to him. He says, "George, good afternoon." He said, "Good afternoon." Hey, brother, good afternoon, you too. And yeah, I think, again, if people like myself and David and Eunice, whoever out there who can do any kind of help, assistance. If you like, if somebody, like I said, the cost of motel, I know they say that the Olympia covers some of your costs, but it's still, like I said, stuff like the tanning, the makeup, everything else, the Ubers. I mean, that's why I remember some people said that it was better for them to do the Olympia in Orlando because the venue was so close. It was so easy to get around.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're just really looking, the thing is also what's also catching up sometimes is, we've done 3 other international shows already. Yeah, so every time, the first show we had some amazing backing, and then the second one we had some backing, but the last one came down on to Tony to make it happen, and so it's tough when you have to do this. So this will be show number 4, and that's a lot of money to go into every show we need to travel to. You know, especially from South Africa, because, you know, it's not in my backyard. I don't have that luxury to have a show right in my backyard. Every time we want to do a show, we need to travel, you know, and because the flights are so long, you need to go, you know, a few days prior, you know, so that everything starts adding up.
No, I think the big thing, George, you know, we just two normal people from South Africa, and I'm a coach. I myself with Tiana, and yes, we own Flex Fitness Gym, and I've got some amazing people that train with me. And I always tell the Lord, thank you that He's given me the knowledge to be able to have these people look at me and say, Flex, I'm going to trust you, and I'm going to walk the flow with you, because I've got people that train with me for not just a couple of months, but years. So, you know, for them to look at Tiana and say, Flex, you've got to go. So I have to get on the plane and be with Tiana. Tiana doesn't have the privilege that her coach is going to be there every time. So I stand in for coach. I'm there, I'm his eyes, I'm his ears. I make sure her tan is right, the bikini sits right, the hair, the makeup. But on top of that, the financial side of it, when we went to Tokyo, and I'm open about it, you know, if I didn't make the decisions that I made and Tiana didn't go, she wouldn't have qualified for Olympia. And I found myself many nights in the gym where I prayed and I said, Lord, I know you didn't bring her this far. Let me take her. I think this is the one. And then she ends up winning. So I'm super happy for her, because to me, to see her get to Olympia, I think it's still going to be a long time. We'll never forget the first one.
Yeah, because you think about it, it's like I remember my first Bible show I went to, that was Savannah. It was a great opportunity. I met some amazing people there, some ladies who I've interviewed. You know, I can never forget it. I mean, you can never, you know, recreate that experience that first time. But like I said, this is this is one of the biggest stages for a bodybuilder outside of the Olympia, outside of the Arnold Classic, even though they don't have, you know, women's bodybuilding anymore. Forget Arnold. I just like you muscle women. You kind of scared of me. You just, you know, you got the big muscles bigger than me. But I'm about 80 years old. But, you know, but this is about a sport by dedication. And most trophy, that's the most part about it. And you're dedicated to your wife. And she's dedicated to y'all. And I say, y'all not normal people. You got a buff, beautiful wife. You're a buff, beautiful guy yourself, Tony. I mean, y'all special people to do what y'all do. The everyday person, like I know I'm an everyday person. Well, I'm not a big everyday person, but to do what y'all do, not just making sacrifice, but like I was talking with another couple, the investment you put into yourself. I wish that there was a bigger return out of it, other than, okay, if you make the Olympia, if you can maybe by a miracle or maybe by Lord's mercy, you crack the top 5. Yeah, that's a good kick of change. Hoping that I know that Jake says that right now that he changed the prize money for the Rise of Phoenix, because he's trying to expand on the Olympia. I hope it does trickle down into the ladies division, because, you know, Andrea shouldn't be doing a show like the Rising if she was getting a bigger check, like she, you know, because she was getting 2 checks, because she was getting 50 here, 50 there. But if she got like 1 big check at the big show, then that'd be something. Hey, I can focus on that, like, you know, like some other competitors. Like guys like
You know, the ladies are getting 10% of what the men are getting. So it's $600,000 for the men and 60 for the ladies, or 500 for the men and 50 for the ladies. I don't see how they work that out, because, you know, I don't think people realize when we look at open bodybuilding as a class on its own, but if you look at 212 and we look at classic bodybuilding, the amount of work that Chris Bumstead put into that physique, it's incredible. To see the massive amount in drop in money doesn't make sense sometimes, but, you know, it's been like that for such a long time, and I don't think it's something that's going to change very soon. You know, men's open bodybuilding has got the biggest prize money, and it is what it is, and no one's going to change it.
Yeah, that's the sad part. But I think, you know, if anything, we all know that this is, I often say this, the men's division, if you know anything about the pimping game, is the bottom bitch. It's the one that gets more promotion, more money behind it. All to just shoot up his prize money to almost $250,000, and that's just, it's crazy. But the women, y'all make up the majority of the sport. Now we have the new division coming in. Excuse me. I got to do it every time I can't. I have interviewed a couple of fit model competitors. They're nice ladies. I'm not a fan of the division. I mean, it's supposed to be maybe bring more potential to people, but then after a while, it's going to look like the last division you're supposed to replace. How you were physique, Tiana, and then you went up to women's bodybuilding. And I think you've done better there than you were in physique. And if anything, I understand that it's like most mainstream sports, the women are not always going to make more money than the men. But here's the thing is, let's give them a little bit more of a incentive so they want to compete. Like, as you know, the Atlanta Pro only had 4 women bodybuilders, 3 women competing in the open class. And there was, some ladies I know, like people like Rashana, who I was going to do, she was going to be part of the live Sunday, but she had something come up, she couldn't make it. And other competitors, y'all came back, y'all weren't ready to do any shows. You need at least a good 2 more weeks to really, if you ever think about doing another show after that. And and people like Linda Murray, who's still fighting for women's bodybuilding, who's a legend, and people like Iris Kyle, who people see saying, well, she won 10 Miss Olympias. That's 10 Olympias. That's 2 more than Ronnie, 2 more than
you can't take that away.
You can't take that.
I met Iris Carl in Tokyo, and I walked in. I said, Iris, I want you to remember, no one can ever say anything about you because you never lost. You only won. You won Olympia.
She did lose once. You got to remember, after she beat Linda back in 2004, she lost in 2005 to Yexenia King. That's the only loss she has. Plus, that's the only loss she has on her record.
Okay, but that's only, and then after that, she kept on winning. So even if she lost it, she came back and she won it. In the men's division, it's only been Jay Cutler. He's the only Olympian bodybuilder that lost his title, came back and won it when he won Dexter. So, it doesn't happen often. So, yes, Linda, and she is such a big name in the sport. Iris will be in the record books for a very long time to come.
Yeah, I was hoping my girlfriend make it, but I don't know. She, like I said again, it's about longevity in this sport. Like, I just interviewed a young lady yesterday. She just made her pro debut. I met her in Tampa. She works with a couple, and she says, she's 35 years old. She said, I want to do this for 5 more years, and then I'm going to wrap it up after that. And I was talking with Donna when she said that this was going to be her last year. But then she thought about it. Her daughter just went to school. She wants to spend, right now she wants to spend some time with her new grandbaby, but she's thinking about coming back. Like, I know you said, Tiana, that you think you want to maybe a few more years and then you're going to shut it down.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
I don't believe it.
I'll never stop training. But the thing is, the girls coming up are so young. To try and keep up with them when you're at the end of your game, it's a bit tougher, So but like I said, it's still a few more years. I want to actually have a good proper off season with Dom. That because up to this point, I've not had a coach invest time in my off season. I sort of just get given a diet and then I sort of just do what I've always done, So Dom is also very hands-on in his off season. And I think that's why Lavina could make the changes that she's made in her off season now. So I want to see what I can do with that type of influence. And what I can bring the next year and see where that goes. But yeah, like I said, the girls are young coming up. It's crazy.
Let's just see where this goes, because if Dominic, let's say it as it is. When you give a client a diet and he doesn't follow it, there's a saying that goes like this: at first, when you don't succeed, try doing what your coach said the first time. So, once you step into off season with Dominic and Amanda and you start seeing the way they do things. If you communicate with them, or they communicate with you, I think there will be progress. But I think where it's very one-sided, it becomes lonely. And you just sort of wing it. You just keep on doing what you're doing.
Yeah, so my off season, I've always winged, if I can say to you, because I haven't had the influence training wise, you know. So you know what I've built is just what I've built with the knowledge that I have. You know, so it would be nice to go into an off season and have a different perspective and yeah. So I'm actually looking forward to that.
So in
I mean,
2026,
George, you can see, you saw Lavina, how she changed. It is
yeah,
dramatic and it's very light.
I saw, like I said, I was there in Tampa and I saw her. She, she's like I said, Lavinia. I don't think her and Hunter are not even 30 yet. I don't think they're even 30.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think because I think they're both
I think they're
29.
just touching. Yeah.
Just 29. They're not even 30. It's still
Mhm.
as a the quote old head used to say, it's still wet behind the ears and breath smells like Similac, like a baby. You know, they're still young. And that's the thing is, I think I talk about this. I think it's these younger competitors that's coming in that probably give bodybuilding new life. Like, you know, you have some of the ladies who are right now top Olympias. I think like Ashley. I got to meet Ashley Jones while I was there, and she's like I think in her early 30s, and you know it's great. You know, I think I showed you the picture of her, me, her. I was hugging her, and we talked a little bit, and you know, and also there's so many women who are like yourself, Tiana, who transitioned from women's physique to women's bodybuilding, like Melissa Tyke, who won the
Yeah.
Chicago Pro. She was just I mean, a friend of mine was talking about she was there and she couldn't believe how she was on her game. And I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
I like now, as you know, this weekend is going to be the Lena show, and Alcione, who is she's gonna compete there. Nadia Capasoto, and also a couple other ladies that I'm familiar with.
Yeah, I saw the list. Yeah.
Yeah,